the whippersnippers are out in force. It's pretty busy at the supermarket today. I had to get a fair bit of stuff done. I got money for the tradies because got a call from Burn, sorry, I think his name is. He said he'd have guys come around tomorrow morning around 7ish to pull out the carpet, and he'd front up a little later to start on the tiles. So it's good to get it happening anyway. It's quite humid here today. Looks like it might have been threatening a bit of rain, but I don't know. I got my street back anyway. The polling booth's been shut down as of yesterday. The election finished on Saturday, of course. That was the final day of polling, and as predicted, it's up in the air. Looks like Anastasia Palaszczuk will scrape back in, but she's been really the One Nation were totally sabotaged by the Liberal National Party alliance that actually decided to give their preferences to Labor. It's quite extraordinary why that happened. I guess it does tend to prove that really Liberals are just basically Labor light. They're that close to them that they'd rather preference to that party than a Conservative party like One Nation. So, and what they've done in effect is they've brought in pretty well guaranteed that Anastasia Palaszczuk will be in power for, what I suppose is 4 years, is it? In which time the deficit will keep ballooning, the bureaucracy will keep ballooning, so the economy will not be in great shape, especially with the 50% renewable targets with energy. So we're going to have a bloated bureaucracy, bloated debt, and high energy prices. It's not a good combination for the economy, but we'll see. Maybe I'm being overly pessimistic, but I am pessimistic. I think it's a very bad outcome. Mind you, they haven't finished the votes count yet, so you never know, because the Mad Catter, he's got a few seats, and he could be a wild card. One Nation might be struggling to get one seat, which is just a terrible result for them. Although Pauline Hanson still reckons she might be able to make 10, but I think that's really ridiculously optimistic. They might be lucky to get 1 or 2 the way they're going, which does seem extraordinary considering they got a reasonable percentage of the vote, and the Liberal National Party got dumped, and that's not surprising. Tim Nichols is damaged goods, you know. Like I said, he was the treasurer in Campbell Newman's regime, which was totally on the nose. It's a stupid choice for opposition leader, but the Liberals keep making stupid decisions. They're totally inept when it comes to personnel, so nothing surprises me with them. So yeah, it's quite a wash-up after the election, and because the electoral office, like most electoral offices around Australia, are slack as, they won't be distributing. They're only starting to distribute preferences today, I think. They could have done it yesterday, but decided not to do it. And there's a whole lot of pre-poll votes to be counted. There's a lot of there's still a bit of time to go with this election, because chances are Palaszczuk will win outright, but it might be just by a whisker, or she might be forced into going into a coalition, in which case we could have another election not that far in the future. Who knows? Things will be clearer in about a week's time, I'd imagine. But I'm a bit, considering that only a third of the electorate voted for both the Liberals and Labor, and there's a disillusioned third, which I would count myself as part of. It's Tweedledum or Tweedledee at the moment. It just makes very little difference to me. Very, very disheartening. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.